If you're watching this video, chances are you're like how I was 2 years ago. I was pretty skinny and I wanted a way to build muscle and I just had no idea how. Recording this video now, I've been lifting for more than 2.5 years and I hope to share some insight that could potentially help you in your lifting journey. I'm gonna include things that I really wish I knew when I started and things that I've only started to learn over the last couple of months. I'm gonna be breaking this video down into little sections individually so I have some time to talk about each and everything I want to. And yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it.
Did you know that cashews come from the fruit?
Before you do anything, pick up any weight, do any exercise, you have to determine if you're training for strength or if you're training for size. Strength training is gonna be more for power lifters. If you go to competitions, you wanna go to weightlifting meets, and you wanna hit big PRs. If you wanna have a better physique and you're more focused on making your body look better, like bodybuilding, that's size. Now there is a gray area where you can train for both and you can work out effectively to improve on both. But for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna split them up into two. When you're training for strength, what you wanna do is focus on more weight, less reps. You're gonna be doing 3 to 5 reps of whatever you can, as heavy as you can, and then you can take long rests before you do another one. You're gonna be doing things like squats, benching, Olympic lifts like snatching grabs, whatever it may be, but you're always gonna be doing them with a few reps, high weight, low intensity. If you play a sport like say football and you want to get stronger, I would say skip size training, just go straight for strength training. It's going to only help you in your sport. Now for size training, this is what I do. You should be focused with more high rep ranges with better intensity, and you should be focusing primarily on growing muscle. Now when I say hypertrophy, I mean failure. It's the point to where your muscles cannot physically work anymore. Once your body reaches failure, once your muscle reaches failure, it signals to your brain that your muscle needs to get stronger, and that's what promotes muscle growth. In your workouts, they should be nice and intense. You should be doing a decent amount of volume, and I will also include this. If you want the best results possible, you should be doing time under tension. Give you an example of what I mean. Let's say you're doing a bicep curl. When you're lowering the bicep to go all the way, just imagine this is down. When you're lowering the bicep to go all the way down, you're gonna shoot it back up and then slowly repeat and then shoot it back up again. You're forcing the muscle in that sense to kind of work an overdrive because now you're putting resistance through all parts of the movement and exploding at the very end. So you're maximizing your muscle's potential to build. You're maximizing your muscle's potential to basically build upon itself. As for specific workouts for both strength and size, I don't think that there's necessarily any specifics you need to do. I mean, of course, for strength, you're gonna be doing like, benching and squatting. But for size, it's more of a matter of preference, maybe what muscles you wanna build more than others. So I would just suggest do your own research, find a split that maybe works for you that has a decent balance of hitting every muscle group at some point within the week and just go from there. For whatever reason you don't like an exercise in the split, you could always just sub it out for something else. It really is no big deal. For supplements, I will say they're definitely not a necessity. You don't really need any to particularly grow, but they do help. For supplements, I would only strongly recommend 3, maybe 4, but I'll get to the 4th one at the end. Protein is a huge must. You need protein to grow. This can be from meats, chickens, steaks, whatever, or you can get powdered protein, but no matter what, you need protein regardless. You should be taking about 1 gram per pound of body weight. Now, that is a lot of protein, but if you want the best results for growing muscle or just growing strength in general, having protein for per pound body weight is gonna help you a lot. I would just recommend going for at least 50% or 75% of your body weight in protein just so you can boost yourself up a little bit. But if you do have the means to reach that 100% protein per pound weight, you should go for it. The next supplement I have is creatine. Creatine, I ended up taking about a year into lifting. I waited a little bit longer to take it just because I didn't know too much about it. You can do your own homework on exactly what it does, but essentially creatine holds water in your body and produces more ATP. So you end up getting more reps per exercise. If you're watching this video and you've been lifting for a little while and you've been contemplating taking creatine, I just say take it. It's relatively inexpensive. You can get about a tub for like $30 or less, depending on where you buy it. And the only thing it's gonna do is increase your output when you're weightlifting. Again, if you don't really know anything about creatine, there's tons of videos online that explain it way better than I can. And yeah, it's up to you if you want to take it or not. I would recommend taking it. But make sure you drink a lot of water if you do. The next supplement I have on this list is a little bit controversial, but it is caffeine. You could do everything I just said. Pick a training style, eat right, have the right protein, whatever it may be. But if you are not training hard, it does not mean anything. In my experience, the one thing that always gets me to train hard is caffeine. It kind of guarantees that your workout will have energy and you will be pushing yourself no matter what. And to have that security when you're working out definitely does help. Some people kind of say caffeine is a bit of a crutch, that like you shouldn't really rely on it. I mean, by all means, if you have enough energy, disregard this entirely. Just go to the gym with your natural energy, have an awesome workout. But if you want your workouts to be consistent, driven, focused, and just hard working, caffeine is definitely going to be a really valuable tool in your arsenal. The last supplement I have for here is magnesium. When you take magnesium, it relaxes your muscles. So normally I'll take it before I go to bed. And every day I wake up, I just wake up feeling rejuvenated, ready, and I rarely get sore anymore. Magnesium really is not a must. It's definitely like a luxury. If you don't really want it, you definitely can live without it. But sleep quality is so important when lifting. It basically determines if the workout of the previous day was even worth it or not. If you have the extra money, I would try magnesium at least for a month or two. See if it works for you. It's definitely helped for me, but you don't need it if you don't want it. Picking whatever gym you want to go to can actually have a very underrated effect on how you work out. I wouldn't pay a premium for somewhere like LA Fitness if you're not planning on using the amenities like the sauna or the basketball courts. If you're just there to work out, get something bare bones, you don't want to waste the extra money, which you could be spending on awesome supplements like caffeine. Go by your budget, go by your gut, and if anything, most gyms do offer free week trials, so if you don't like it, you could always cancel. If your parents pay for your gym membership, disregard everything I just said.
Did you know that cashews come from the fruit?
I think the hardest thing about starting out in the gym is when you don't really see any results in the first few months. It took me about 4 months before I really saw any kind of improvement to my physique. I think the 3 to 5 month period is basically where most people determine whether or not they want to keep doing it or not, which sucks because you're probably not going to see results in that time frame. If you don't see the results you want after maybe 6 months, I would probably reassess how you're working out or maybe just find a new workout plan. But I think the biggest piece of advice I could give is just don't give up. Once you get over that hurdle from that 3 to 5 or 6 month period, once you kind of cross it, you get over it, lifting becomes so much easier, so much more fun, and you'll kind of become like programmed to do it. Like it's going to be like really hard to stop. Because seeing those results, seeing what you've been doing actually leads somewhere, once you get that feeling of accomplishment, you never want it to stop. And basically that's what keeps most people going. That's how people stay motivated. Action is what separates the dreamers from the doers. So if you can consistently take action by going to the gym, you'll be just fine.
Did you know that cashews come from the fruit? Did you know?
Okay, what is bulking and what is cutting? Bulking and cutting is a 2-step process. First, you bulk up, you gain a lot of body weight, a lot of muscle, put it on over the period of like 6 to 8 months, about maybe more, maybe less. And then you start cutting, is where basically you remove all the excess body weight, all the excess fat, so you're just left with all the muscle that you gained. I think the biggest mistake that people make when they first start working out is they immediately start bulking or immediately start cutting when there's not the right conditions to. I unfortunately made this mistake last February. I was cutting from 160 to 155, which really was not worth it at all. I was super duper skinny. I had basically no muscle and there was like nothing to cut from. I think my best advice for bulking and cutting is have a lot of patience. I'm about 170 right now and I'm bulking to about 185, and then I'm gonna start cutting. And I already feel the effects of the bulk. I feel more sluggish and I feel like fatter. And I do want to cut really bad. I really miss having like an ab outline. But I know that I have to take it nice and slow and steady so I can put on as much muscle and body weight as possible so that when I do start cutting, all the muscle is nice and visible. Bulking should probably take you anywhere from 5 to maybe 8 months. Cutting should take you maybe like 4 to 6.
Did you know that cashews come from the fruit? Did you know that cashews come from the fruit?
It's kind of like my closing statement, maybe some final tips to give you. Don't wear lifting gloves. Please do not wear lifting gloves. You will not need them. You will look dumb. For clothing, honestly, dude, just wear whatever you want. It really is not that deep. Don't spend a lot of money up front for the gym. Like, don't go into it with like a new gym bag, a new pair of shoes, a new lifting belt, a new whatever. Don't do that. Most of the time, if you go into the gym like that, most of the stuff you're not even really going to use all that much. And most of the stuff you're probably going to end up buying later on anyways. And it's probably going to be more tailored to what you actually need once you kind of figure out what you're training for. And I think that's about it, honestly. If you have any other kind of questions, just tell me in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer them. I had a lot of questions when I first started out, and hopefully I really thought I nailed most of them. Hopefully I didn't go over nothing got over my head, or I don't know what I'm saying. Thank you so much for watching. I really enjoyed making this video. It was something that I've been wanting to do since I started lifting and as I've kind of accumulated knowledge. So maybe I helped somebody out in need. I don't know. God willing. That's about it. Thank you so much for watching, and amen.